We do not launch until we think it's right. And these teams have labored over that, and that is the conclusion that they came to. So I look at this as a part of our space program, of which safety is the top of the list.
Launch period 25 is definitely off the table. We won't be launching, this period ends on Tuesday. We will not be launching in this launch period. Launch period 26 and 27 will really depend on the options that the team comes back with.
What we do know is that we saw a large leak at the 8-inch quick disconnect today, and that leak started when we went from the slow fill to the fast fill. This particular quick disconnect did not have a problem of this magnitude on Monday. We did see a small leak, but we did not see one of this magnitude. It was characterized as a large leak by our operations team. The team tried 3 times to resolve the leak, and all 3 times we saw a large leak. It's several weeks of work. It's really too early to say exactly how many days.
In a controversial move, Indonesia raised subsidized fuel prices by about 30% on Saturday. While the decision risks mass protests, it's an attempt to rein in ballooning subsidies.
Saat ini, pemerintah harus membuat.
President Joko Widodo, also known as Jokowi, said the price hike was the government's last option in a difficult situation. Announcing the decision during a televised news conference, he added the budget for subsidies had tripled and will continue to increase. The change will have major implications for households and small businesses. Drivers from ride-hailing apps said the fuel hike could mean their income will become even lower as the country's economy slowly recovers to its pre-pandemic level. Although Indonesia is Southeast Asia's largest economy, it has been hit by rising global oil prices and a depreciating currency. This year already, it has increased its energy subsidies to 3 times the original 2022 budget. Fuel prices are politically sensitive in Indonesia, as subsidized fuel accounts for more than 80% of state-owned oil giant Pertamina's sales. The last fuel price hike was in 2014, months after Jokowi took office, aiming to free up fiscal space. It sparked protests across the archipelago. The opposition Labour Party has arranged a protest on Tuesday involving thousands of workers, its chairman Said Iqbal told Reuters. Iqbal, who also heads up a trade union, has called on Parliament to pressure the government into cancelling the price hike.
Serena Williams bid an emotional farewell to the US Open on Friday night after what may have been the last singles match of her glittering career. Williams did her signature victory twirl to the raucous, packed stadium in New York despite losing the third-round match to Australian Ajla Tomljanovic 7-5, 6-7, 6-1. The 3-plus-hour battle was hard-fought on both sides, with the ever-defiant Williams saving 5 match points in the last game before netting the final shot. The crowd were on their feet, applauding the 23-time Grand Slam champion, who had recently announced her plans to evolve away from tennis, though never confirming when. She choked back tears during the post-match on-court interview, a moment usually reserved for the winner, saying, "These are happy tears, I guess. I dunno." Williams thanked her family and fans, especially her parents and older sister Venus, for their support over the years. The 40-year-old player, who grew up in a poor neighborhood in Compton, California, has inspired a generation of young black girls to dream big and fight hard. She clinched her first major when she was 17 years old at the 1999 US Open. That made her the first black American since Arthur Ashe in 1975 to win a singles major, and the first black American woman since Althea Gibson in 1958. Williams told reporters after a Friday match that she considered the 2015 French Open a career highlight. That's when she fought through a serious flu to complete her second so-called Serena Slam, winning 4 Grand Slam titles in a row. She's one of the few players, male or female, who have won a career Grand Slam, winning all 4 majors at some point in both singles and doubles. And the only player so far to have achieved a career Golden Slam, that is, to win Olympic gold as well in both categories. Her last Grand Slam title was the 2017 Australian Open, which brought her ranking back to world number 1 and made her, at 35, the oldest woman to win a major. She later revealed she was at the time also pregnant with daughter Alexis Olympia, who just turned 5 on Thursday. If she retires now, Williams will take the curtain call as the proud owner of the second most Grand Slam singles titles in history, behind the 24 of Australia's Margaret Court. Asked after the thrilling match on Friday night whether the renowned fighter might be tempted to reconsider her retirement, Williams said, "I don't think so, but you never know."
The last Soviet leader, Mikhail Gorbachev, was laid to rest on Saturday. Gorbachev, who presided over the Soviet Union from 1985 until its collapse in 1991, died on Tuesday, aged 91. Much like the funerals of previous Soviet leaders, Gorbachev's body lay in state in Moscow's Grand Hall of Columns. But, unlike his predecessors, Gorbachev was denied a full state funeral. And Russian President Vladimir Putin was noticeably absent. He briefly paid his respects on Thursday at the hospital where Gorbachev died, but said his busy Kremlin schedule prevented him from attending Saturday's service. Putin's no-show is seen by some as a calculated snub by the former KGB officer who has rolled back many of Gorbachev's reforms. Putin has called the breakup of the Soviet Union the greatest geopolitical catastrophe of the 20th century. Also absent were many Western heads of state and government who normally would have attended, kept away by the chasm in relations between Moscow and the West following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. One European leader who did attend was Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán, who was seen placing flowers by Gorbachev's coffin. Orbán is one of the few European leaders to have good relations with Putin. Gorbachev's legacy still divides opinion inside and outside of Russia. Nevertheless, thousands of Russians of all ages lined up to pay their respects.
I think that this person deserved a real people's farewell ceremony. He is a historic person, no matter how some feel about him. He did a lot. I think he did more good, but some think that he did more bad.
Best known in the West for helping end the Cold War and reducing his country's nuclear stockpile, Gorbachev unwittingly presided over the Soviet Union's demise. His final resting place is in Moscow's Novodevichy cemetery, where he will be buried alongside his wife Raisa, who died 23 years ago.